anything else that was said. All the shit that came tumbling out of his vomitous little mouth was just that. Garbage, vomit, nonsense, bullshit, dishonor, lies. And the little Christian prick, Mike Johnson, he told reporters after this debacle was over that Al Green, quote, should be censured for interrupting Trump's address to Congress. Jesus Christ, that's not going to happen. Man. Well, Al Green now has entered into my little personal pantheon of heroes. Yeah, heroes. Yeah. Green wasn't the only Democrat lawmaker, however, who shouted out during the bastard speech. Other members were shouting out things like not true and those are lies. California Republican Gil Cisneros reportedly shouted out, talk about the $400 million to Tesla. And several of the members of the Democratic caucus held up their little round signs that says, Musk steals. Folks, the cameras were pointed the other way. I mean, the only time those little round signs got any FaceTime on camera was when the camera panned around the other direction and focused on them. But that is pointless. Musk steals? What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean that Musk is going to stop his thievery, this goddamn South African Nazi? And there's nothing, I understand, there's nothing the Democratic Party can do right now legally, constitutionally. But what they could have done was got up off of their asses and walked or were rolled out in their fucking wheelchairs out of the House chamber. And when they got to the door, they could turn around, all of them en masse, and raise their middle finger to this filthy goddamn Trump. But the only one who had the courage and the decency and the honor to do that was Representative Al Green. Well, it's not surprising. Green, before being a member of Congress, he was a civil rights attorney. He was a president of the Houston, Texas NAACP for nearly a decade. Now, several Democrats did quietly walk out of the chamber throughout the Orange Nazi speech, including Bernie Sanders, of course, Veronica Escobar, Ilhan Omar, Pramila Jayapal, Jamie Raskin. Some of the Democrats were leaving because of the bullshit from Trump. Just an endless stream of bullshit. And maybe you saw this. Some of them were wearing shirts that had the word resist printed on the back. But again, it's not effective when 5 out of 535 get up and walk out the fucking chamber. That doesn't do anything except get the attention of a screaming, frothing at the mouth podcaster like me. Okay. What was needed was the 209, I don't even know anymore how many Democrats are in the House chamber, and however many Democrats were there representing the Senate, for all of them to get up and walk out. Why would they sit there and by their presence say that there was something worth hearing from this lying fucking murderous traitor to the United States, this rapist, 34 convicted felon son of a bitch who's standing up there, and the Democrats just sat on their asses. I can't understand that. I mean, I really can't. I'm not a violent man. I really am not. Although I have some pretty excitable genes given to me through a couple of generations of Italians and Irish But while I'm not a violent man, I can be pushed to violence. Can't we all? And I've noticed over the years that what I'm starting to feel where concerns politics, that my tolerance level for this bullshit is getting lower and lower and lower. And by violence, I'm not excluding verbal violence, screaming and shrieking. Well, you hear it almost every day when you listen to this podcast. But had I been in that chamber last night, they would have had to have brought more than 4. And I'm not trying to get all ballsy on you. I'm just saying it would have taken more than 4 of those ganas to come and remove me from the House chamber. And I was kind of hoping against hope, although it's ridiculous because, I realize that Al Green is a decent human being. He's not going to get violent. He's 77 years old. But I kept wondering, as they surrounded him, they fucking surrounded him. I kept wondering, when is he going to start punching? When is he going to draw back his goddamn left fist and blast it into one of these creeps' faces? When is that going to happen? And I didn't notice if they put their hands on him. They probably were smart enough, these fucking enforcers, to not put their hands on Al Green, because I think that would have been a really stupid thing to do. Oh, man. So Al Green, been in the House since 2005. Good on you, mate. Good on you, mate. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.